Kofi King Cool here with Paul from Parts Per Million. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. I actually just watched your video for 2020 Vision about 15 minutes ago for the first time. And very impressive.
Thank you. We're really happy with it. It's hard not to be, honestly. We spent about a year working on it, between just kind of coming up with what exactly we wanted to do in it, and then, the editing process took some time, and it's awesome. We're very, very happy with it. So thank you.
It's very high quality.
Yeah, we worked with Project 2 Studios, and those guys have been everything they do is really phenomenal. They got nominated for a Grammy last year. They worked with Joyner Lucas pretty much exclusively, and they were nominated for his video for a Grammy for I'm Not Racist. And right before that we put out our video, they just put another one out with him called Will, and it's just amazing. They do great work, and that's it. We're really happy with what we got from them. So.
Now, how did you guys come up with the concept for that?
Well, basically, we were talking about, in general, about what's been going on with, with politics and how they're just seemingly so polarizing. And we storyboarded a bunch of ideas back and forth, and eventually it just had come up with the idea to put, two opposing families on the opposite side of each other, and it just kind of went from there. It got deeper and deeper, and we talked about having, somebody kind of behind the curtain pulling the buttons and pushing the switches, and that's really it. We brought that to those guys, and it really kind of blossomed from there, It's
a shame, man, that you guys did such a fantastic video, such high quality for this one. I mean, who knows when you're going to be able to do something like that.
I'm sorry, say that again, sir?
I said it's a shame that you guys spent all that time doing such a high-quality video. I mean, I don't know when you're going to be able to pull out something like that again.
I know. With what's going on, it's tough to say, But basically, we'll see, you know what I mean? Believe me, we're ready to go. We're just kind of waiting for the green lights in all the places that we can go to kind of do it again, so.
You're going to go from an award-winning video to an iPhone.
No, definitely not. We're that's like you said, we definitely don't want to do that. But when you said, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see how long we're stuck in this situation that we're in, But we have every intention on kind of keeping our foot on the gas pedal and just keep going with these videos, and we have an EP coming behind it, so we have another single to release, and we have another pretty big plan for that one. So it just depends on if we can execute it.
Now, did you guys already shoot some footage for that new single for a video, or no?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Did you guys already shoot some footage for the new single for a video, or?
No, we haven't. We're in talks, and it's just going to be a matter of when it's technically okay to get back together. We don't expect it to take a year this time either, but that one was just kind of its own. There was a lot of issues that kind of came up with that one, so that was the only reason it took so long. Like, I think we had come up with the idea last year, and those guys were just so busy that it was hard to nail them down. We shot it in October, so it technically only took 6 months, I guess.
All right, man. What's it like being an up-and-coming artist? You put out a fantastic video. You got an EP coming out, and all of a sudden the world puts you on pause.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, basically, I don't know. As a band that's not really anywhere important yet, or just trying to kind of break into that, or feeling like a small guy in the big ocean, right? It feels like roadblock after roadblock anyway. So I don't know if it feels any different than the usual kind of thing that goes on, We put this out kind of in hopes that it would make some waves, and that's really been our goal all along. This is just kind of another stepping stone. At the end of the day, like, we're pretty confident that we have something going on that's good, and And that's kind of where we stand with it, is that when this ends, we do whatever we have to do to keep going. And if it doesn't end, then we find a way to adapt to it, because there's no, I don't know. We love making music. We love putting out content. We just enjoy what we do. And honestly, like I said, this band it's had so much nonsense go on for the past couple of years that, it's just it is what it is, So I'm not that upset about it. It could be worse.
Well, that's definitely got to be a shitty feeling then to say it's just another bump, man. It sounds like you guys had a rough go at it so far.
Yeah, it has been. I think so. We've gone through a few different drummers. The guy, quit, and then the guy after that quit, and we think we finally found our pieces, and that was one of the things that was difficult, was finding the right guys. It took a little while to find the bass player. It was me and the guitar player for a couple of years, and we recorded our first EP, which we weren't extremely happy with. We liked it. We don't dislike it. It just didn't come out, the way that this did, the way that these songs did. And, so it's just been a lot of back and forth, personal issues, this and that. But, yeah, it's just it's different, if we could all do this full time, it would be great. But I think that's part of the issue, is that we're not at that place yet. So a lot of, there's a lot of things that kind of go in and out, and that's kind of it. We just keep plugging along because we love what we're doing. So that's really what it boils down to for us.
What a point in time to be at that curve, this could have been the push you guys needed to get you over the top. Now it's a setback for who knows how many, I don't even know what we're looking at in time frame, man. I know. Yeah, the same. We'll remain positive and hope that it still means something or still goes somewhere. That's all we can really do. It's because it's a strange time anyway, right? In music, I feel like in general, there's with the way social media works and with the way everything seems to work now. It's a different medium, and now we're kind of forced into it even more so. So it's kind of just trying to find a way to adapt to what's going on and see if we can still be relevant in a time where you can't play live, and that's all we're trying to figure out. It's like, how can we do this? What can we do to kind of continue what we really want to do? It's tough. We haven't seen each other in a month, and it's kind of like we don't know. We don't know how much longer that's going to go, but it doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. No, me myself personally, I've totally had to change my structure of how I do things. It was
sure.
I was at big shows and doing different interviews and well-known bands and whatnot. Now there's a time now where none of those bands want to do anything. You know what I mean?
I know.
So I've switched over to up and comers like yourself, and one thing that I'm starting to realize is once shows start becoming available, it's going to be you guys that are going to be out there on the road first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. I agree with you that the smaller shows are going to be the ones that are going to kind of get started first, because the bigger ones are it's probably not going to work, and then even once, who knows that if this thing somehow slows down, as soon as you start putting large groups of people back together, it's going to be difficult to not have it kind of come back up and probably cancel everything again. I think we have a rough year ahead of us as far as most things, as entertainment goes, as music goes, as anything that puts a lot of people in the same place. I think it's going to be a really tough year, and it's just kind of. It's hard to look past the right now. I think I can't, that's sort of what we're trying to stay in. Is just like, what can we do right now to do what we can, because who the hell knows? I just don't, we had some really great shows lined up, and we were talking about doing something in the summer about, maybe touring around a little bit and doing a small thing, and, everything's really on halt at this point. So we just kind of have to wait and see.
The way I see things going, there's definitely not going to be no more stadium shows. There's definitely not going to be no more arena shows for quite some time.
Yeah.
The bigger bands out there who have the money I don't think they're going to go on tour because they don't need to. You know what I mean? It's going to be you guys that are trying to make a mark that's going to go ahead and fill that void that everybody needs.
Yeah, I know. And that's what I mean. You never know how this could work out for, it's strange how sometimes in these like more difficult scenarios that sometimes you don't know. It could end up becoming an advantage for some. And it's hard to say. I don't know. That's kind of what I always say, try and keep your nose to the grind, because basically you never know when the opportunity is going to make itself present. And for us right now, that's kind of the mentality to stick to is, you can either kind of lay down and die, or you can keep trying to fight through it. So.
I mean, it's got to be such an overwhelming feeling. I mean, most bands out there, they're touring bands. I mean, the only way you're really going to make money is being on the road. And then you have big business like Ticketmaster that's basically fucking over their fans. I mean, they just changed the policy that any postponed show is no longer eligible for a refund. It's only going to be a straight canceled show, and that's
I heard that. It's a nice move. Yeah. I can't stand any of that anyway. You're talking about an entity that when you try and buy tickets from, most of them are sold out, and then you have to buy them from a second or third party for astronomical prices. So, shame on them as usual. And I think that's part of everything we've ever said too. Is that's what a lot of the video is about. It's just like there's a lot of rotten things that go on, and it seems like we end up arguing with each other over it, as opposed to looking at what's really going on. And it's things like that. I think that it's a real shame something like Ticketmaster even exists, if you ask me. I mean, they're charging just entirely too much money for what they do, for being the middleman and all of this.
Yeah, let alone now holding all that money. I mean, they're doing nothing but banking interest on shows that who knows. That ain't going to happen until at least next year,
Right.
Now, going back to touring, I mean, once you guys are able to get on the road, you mentioned hopefully some summer shows. Are you preparing for that mentally? Like, I've always noticed that up-and-comers spend a lot of time with fans, shaking hands and meet and greets and selling the merch, signing shit. But is that something that you want to distance yourself off of?
I don't know. I guess it's tough to say. I mean, right now for me, mostly, partly an essential worker, if you could say. So not a lot has changed for me. I'm still working. So it's kind of, following some of those protocols and being around people. And I think that a lot of people, there's kind of half and half. Some are stuck and some are working. And for myself, it's, I don't know. That's something I really can't say. I'm not really afraid as much as I'm cautious with this whole thing, if that makes sense.
Right. I mean, everything's changed in that aspect. I mean, I can go to the grocery store. I got to spend 10 minutes in my car suiting up, gloves, masks,
Yeah, I worry about what may come with it, but I try not to too much, I think, it's the same thing, you know what I mean? Mask and gloves and you just honestly don't touch your face and don't cough on people, you know what I mean? I worry about it's allergy season. I don't know how you do with that, but I don't usually do too well with it. So I'm concerned about the first time that I cough somewhere and somebody wants to stab me for, you know what I mean, coughing for allergies.
I know exactly what you're saying, man. Every morning I wake up and I know it's my sinuses that are bothering me, but I gotta look on the internet and see if there's any new symptoms to see.
I know. It's a very strange time, and like you said, exactly, you get a cough or a headache and you're kind of like, is it the Rona? And it's like,
yeah, for
probably
sure.
Probably not. So.
I had a fan on and it gave me a sore throat. It was blowing in my mouth when I was sleeping. I woke up. I said, "Oh my God, this is it."
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we have a baby at home, and basically he just turned 1, and it's such a weird thing, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, this is your first year in the world. This is a good one, and he at one point had like 105-degree temperature, which is or close to 105, which is nuts. But it just went away in a day. It was the same thing. We were always like, does he have it? But we've basically been again practicing everything you're supposed to do. Like we don't really socialize outside of what we have to do for work, and I haven't seen my band guys in a month. You know what I mean? And that's something that we all decided was a better move. We've seen some bands say, screw this, we're going to get together. And it hasn't really worked out for them. And they, it's caused a lot of backlash for some of them, So.
Now, I understand you guys haven't seen each other physically, but you guys do like Zoom or Skype or any of that shit?
Yeah, we do. And then, we've actually come up with this. This is something that's interesting, is that there's some latency in those things, so it's kind of hard to per se practice. But we have found that one of the things you can do is if you're Zooming with somebody, you can shut off the audio and you can call that person on speakerphone, and there's no latency to the video with the phone. So that's kind of a little cheap thing that we figured out, fooling around with a cheap way to kind of work together and to have no latency within the phone calls,
No, I've noticed that a lot of bands are going to their social media to do like acoustic shows and things like that for the fans. Is that something you guys have been doing or plan on doing?
Yeah, I've been doing that once a week actually. So we go on or I go on and my guitar player will go on and play around. And for the most, we all sing, so it's a little bit of a bummer to not have the guys, on the same room doing it. But I do go on and play. That's something that tried to stick to, is once a week get on there and talk and kind of play some stuff and keep trying to promote this video until the next one.
Now, when you guys do the online shows, if it's all original, you guys do covers, what do you do?
A little bit of both. Definitely a little of both. I play some of the, and then this week I took some requests, asked some people what they'd want to hear this week, and so I'm working on some of those tracks now to see if we can have them ready,
I mean, that's always, it's something to do. You know what I mean? It's good for you guys keep busy. It's good for the fans out there there's nothing to do. You know what I mean?
No.
There's no movies coming out. There's no new TV shows.
Right.
It's getting crazy out there.
I know, it's tough. And I'll be honest, it's tough for me. I'm used to just working all the time, and then if there's not that, there's band practice. If there's not practice, there's something else to do, I'm pretty busy. Idle hands is not my favorite thing, and it's tough. I don't watch TV, so it's really kind of difficult for me to be sitting still all the time.
Yeah, it's tough. Learning to adapt. And 3-4 concerts a week is what I'm used to. Now it's just like, Jesus, I don't even know if I'm going to go to the front lines when it first starts out myself personally. You know what I mean? It's just, I can go ahead and cover what needs to be done.
Right.
I'm so curious to see what the first shows are going to be like. I don't know if venues are going to be full open, you know what I mean? Or are people going to section themselves off in the crowd?
No, I agree with you. I wonder how it's really going to go and who's actually going to go and kind of how the whole thing is going to work. It's going to be an interesting thing to see, for sure.
Now, one thing I personally thought of, I wonder if venues are going to put certain parts in the back where people can go ahead and distance themselves and let the front be like, enter at your own risk type thing if you want to get next to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's, I hadn't even thought of that. That's an interesting thought process too, is what they're going to do to kind of, I don't know. It is. It's so strange. Sometimes it just feels like a goddamn dream. You know what I mean? It's like, is this really going on?
Dude, as soon as I got the notice, like I have a young son. He just turned 9. As soon as I got the notice that he didn't go to school anymore, it was just like, wow, this is getting real.
I know. Yeah. That's kind of what we did the same thing. We were kind of looking at it, and it was
we were looking at it and just realizing that that everything was shut down, and it was just going to be a matter of time before. Yeah, I think for me, once the major sports thing shut down, I was like, this is listen, if billionaires are willing to close their doors, like something serious is coming, So.
One asshole basketball player is really what set all that off. The kid that touched all the microphones and everything like that.
I know that. I feel bad for that poor bastard. I really do. I feel like that was just like one of those mistakes. He was like, "Yeah, whatever, it's a joke," and then was like, "It's not a joke. Good luck."
I fucked up. I closed down basketball personally. I fucked all sports for being a moron.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So, fans want to continue with the journey of Parts Per Million. They want to see some of them live shows. They want to find out when the next single's coming out. They want to know about the upcoming EP. Where do they go? What do they do?
Awesome. Yeah, I think the single, like I said, we're gonna wait and see when we can, and the EP is gonna kind of come with it, if that makes sense. That's kind of been the plan all along. Was the next single was coming with the EP, but the plan has been 6 to 8 weeks for everything, but everything gets delayed. Even this video was supposed to have been done, the one that we dropped today, which recently it worked out really well, I guess, timing wise, outside of this whole mess, but with the current political climate. But we're hoping to have that next video by, I'd say, 2 months tops, and that'll be the release of the EP. So that's the plan.
And for the fans that want to check you guys out, do they go to the website? Do they go to Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, they can go to either. On the website we have some shirts. The website is www.partspermillionband.com. The Facebook is fine. Instagram is fine. They all link together. We're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're everywhere. So, we have we have 4 singles out right now on all the streaming services. The other couple of we have 3 other previous videos. We have 4. We have 2 live videos we did, and we have 2 other singles from this EP that's coming out called The Cycle. So there's plenty of, on YouTube, there's plenty of places to check us out,
Awesome, man. Well, I plan on checking those out. I can't wait for the EP to come out. You said it's called The Cycle?
Yes, sir.
And hopefully one day I get to catch you guys live. Maybe
that'd be fantastic. We'll definitely be looking you up if we're in your neighborhood for sure.
You'll see me in a bubble.
There you go. That might be the solution right there.
Yeah.
Bubble boy shows. That might be a good time. That might be a fun mosh pit to be in. Everybody in a bubble.
All right, buddy. Take care of yourself.
All right, man. Thank you.